Hello beans, welcome to Blue Bean Harvest number 6. I am a Roy, here simply sharing awareness. Now that with regards to this, number 6, there's a PDF at the start on the, there will be on the YouTube video. Can you do that? I don't know if you can. It'll be on the roydow.com website, and I'll put it on LinkedIn. And I'll copy it onto Facebook. Yeah, there's a poem at the beginning, which is actually a response to someone, and I've changed it to because it was so much some benefit for everyone. Anyway, again, I want to carry on from yesterday. I've got a continuation with it because it's just stuff is in my mind. And I want to come back to this notion of religious groups, and I want to really focus on this for a minute. I don't know why, I just do. With regards, I see that the new age is going to be fed by people that have a bias towards an awareness of the new age in the sense of change, and that notion from yesterday's video of going towards nature from 3 to 4, from that intellectual element as we balance some reason, but we're going to use that and bring it back in the sense of our divine mission and subsequent spiritualization, the divine self. So just to conclude, I see people that have an awareness, a bias towards that notion of expectation with regards to Christ feature as being people that when aware of what I perceive as a more realistic and truth-based approach with regards service to others based on what could be seen, this whole process, as service to self as we seek to spiritualize self and receive that divine awareness, to a divine compass to guide us through life always. Here realized and extended, obviously, superhumans. So, lost my track there, don't worry about that. I'll come back to it. So anyway, yes, right. So the notion of New Age alternatives, religious people, Buddha, anything where there's this focus on other self and balance and duality, pathways, it's all good. It's all good. But I just find that you've got to, you can talk to 10 million people about, karma and about reincarnation and about doing this, that and the other in any form of currently practiced or recognized religion or faith. And people's awareness of process and the images associated, I feel, will facilitate greater understanding aren't out here. This is why I'm doing this. To me, there's so much flowery, airy-fairy rubbish. I use that term loosely, generously, without generalisation. And I just want to get into what I see as specifics. With focus and to clear away, like going back to that notion of the Pope. What have I got a problem with the Pope about? Well, I suppose it came to me this morning, which is late this morning, when I was going to do number 6 yesterday, decided to do it today, and had a notion in my head, just to show you how synchronicity works with me. And yesterday and this morning I was thinking about this, the 666 thing again, and I thought, well, we'd done that yesterday. And 666, the 3 in 1, and I'm thinking about fire and triangles, it all just come in and bugged me. And then I picked up a book that I've had and referenced And I just sort of open it at a page which is out of, and I haven't read the book, I've just bought it as a reference, just to randomly look at it. And it's 366 pages, and I'll just open it at the page, which talks specifically about the four faces of God and that notion of the three in one. The four faces of God. Okay. There, this is Initiation by Elizabeth Haight, the author of one of the tarot books. It's a wonderful book I'm learning of, because I've read a little bit of it today in relation to this, and you know, things come when they need to. It's just bonkers. So I'm going to share this. So just to conclude, as I was thinking all of this, and Pope, to me, where's my ka-jinga, over here, excuse me, so I'm still here, out of shot, look, coming back, okay, chill. So, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. To me there is only one Father. To me there is only one Holy, the Holy Spirit. And to me there is only one Son. So if I'm the Son, yeah, and I receive the Holy Spirit, which interacts with the Father and changes it, the spiritualization, okay? So if you've got this, coming back to this notion of anyone here, this notion of figurehead, yeah, and especially with title, and this example, I'm using it because it's, you know, how do you refer to the Pope? Isn't it His Eminence or the Holy Father? Yeah, and there's only one Holy Father. It's not a man. Okay, so this is where that notion of it's chopped off there, isn't it? When really, I shall use this notion shortly, but I will see where this is you. Okay, I'm going to show you this. And this is referring back to that 666 idea. And this is known, I feel this is known in the hallways of places that we think of that might have access to such information, where they could have, you know, locked information away, like chained libraries, which is in the vacuum, and other places. There's lots of stuff that is hidden. Why? You know, if we share, once you share, it's that idea of, you know, if you put something out there and share it, the ways that people then look at that and give feedback on it, instead of just yourself or one or two, it could be 1,000 or 1,000,000. And then the potential adaptations of that in the sense of natural growth and progression, which is what we see intrinsic in the nature of creation. Creation, big G, the nature of the big G is creation. And I shall come back to this as well, very specifically. So, sorry, I've got stuff flooding in. It's stuff that I want to talk about. So the task of every being is the same, okay, to choose. But it's okay to just, yeah, right, I'm going to choose, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to try and do the right thing. But you need to do it with a sense of expanding your own awareness, with that sense of growth. It is not enough to go into a house that someone said, this is our meeting place, and just sing lots of songs and read rubbish that you don't understand. How can you assimilate things that you don't understand? Yeah, this is that notion of self-deceit. I was watching this thing, and this doctor, this is based on the tomb at, you know, the box of bones at the tombs in Israel. And what did it have on it? It had this over the doorway, didn't it? And yeah, that's what it had over the doorway, effectively. So, and on the box of bones, and they thought, yeah, because of all the names of everyone who it was them. And it's like, well, whatever. Next. Focus on you now. That's the point. Yeah, you keep focusing on others not going to do anything for you. You've got to do it for you. So all those people that have a religious bias, you've primed yourself ready for this moment, I feel. Yeah, it's this moment when you can say, hey, hold on, what's this bloke saying? Well, what if? Because it's only when you say what if, as opposed to no, and you just turn your back on it instantly, yeah, and then just you fall to the floor in ignorance. If you open yourself up to 10 truths, one will stick. You know, you must explore life, explore the world. That's the whole purpose of being aware, being exposed to other truth. It's the way that we share experience all our life. You know, like I said in number 5, you know, was that a nice meal? Was that a nice bit of food? Was that a nice trip? Was that a nice this or this? It's that recommendation. I'm making recommendations here. So let's just go back to seeking union with other self. Seeking union with other self is the resurrection. The resurrection of self. So I said that man, 666, is the number of man. Yeah. So I wrote this a different way, didn't I? Let's do it that way. Well, I mean, we can see that we've got the 3 and the 1 there. We've got the 6 and the 6 and the 6. And if we add them together, obviously we get 6 and 6 and 6, which is 18, which is 9. Okay. And it's like, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, 369. Yeah, Tesla, vibration, frequency, and whatever the other one was. Well, I don't know, I'm just a dummy. Anyway, so, God created, I've talked about all of this before, and I'm going to come back to an element of this when we look at the Platonic solids again, and just that, a couple of things there. So we've got that 666, we can see it all adds up to 9. And I've written here, you know, that the truth fills you up with fear in the sense of if you hear this, it's understandable. That notion of waking up and possibly the simple truths expressed through innocence and the awareness of a young man, a carpenter son 2,000 years ago, they stand the same today. You know, it's your journey. And all these people that cling to revised modern interpretations of nonsense regarding the books of body and the journey in life that we make and what we have to do and when we have to do it and how we spiritualize ourselves, how we receive the Holy Spirit. Okay, that you are responsible for you. It sucks to be you, you know, I don't know, but everyone can change. Yeah, everyone can change. Such is the nature of the individual. Know that we all have a chance to redeem ourselves through true repentance and by balancing our awareness. This energy, this notion of things, this is what it all comes down to. When we think, it's energy, anger, rage, energy, you know, it's peace, it's energy, calm, ease, energy, okay? So, but what does this mean? So we're going to balance it. It means that when we look back over our lives, there will be memories of behaviour that make us feel uncomfortable, whether we were victim or whether we were the victor. Doesn't sound right there, does it? Whether we were the person that was receiving the projection or whether we were the person that was projecting. These are going to make us uncomfortable, perhaps, make us feel guilty for what we see as our own bad behaviour. They may make us fearful, upset, remembering bad experiences, so much so that we want to cry, you know. And it's okay to express emotion, it's good. We're focusing on something that's coming up and coming up and coming up. And so as we release, we can find balance in a very specific way. and that's this. During these times, be aware that other selves concerned as to your disposition. Are you okay? Bill, Fred, Ethel, Ted, Alice, Bob, George, whatever. Someone asks because they're concerned. It's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm getting shit out, you reply. And you'll give them space. Avoid the comforting hugs which can disrupt your balancing, especially when they're offered without any sort of word prior. You know, someone just comes up and, you know, that's smothering, isn't it? Isn't it a smothering? Yeah, smothering your outburst because of the disruption in their own personal space, perhaps. And again, it's, remember, anything delivered. Oh, you're right, there, you know, shut the f up. So they're delivered and given with an expectation, and if it's not met, it may cause heightened distress in the expectant carer. What's the matter with you? Sort yourself out, what's going on? You know, this distress. It's like, me, go away, go. But, you know, find some space. If both of you know what's going on, or all of you know what's going on, then everything can be managed through a sense of understanding. And that heightened understanding through experience, personal experience, shared experience, increased awareness, okay? So, the comfort in hugs, blah, blah, blah. As difficult as it might be to do, you are best served by re-experiencing these moments in your life. See them in your mind's eye and change the outcome in the sense that, say sorry to your victim. With love, mean it. Recognize the error of your behavior. Forgiving someone that has projected on you in a very negative way, mentally, physically, abusing. By releasing the energy of dis-ease in whatever form it holds you, you can find true peace within yourself. And this is balancing. This is how we balance, through an understanding. And at this point, it's that, you know, that compassion, understanding, we can pause and see how they have sunk. Sorry, let's just go back. It may appear that justice isn't served to your satisfaction. This is important. And there's a desire for vengeance. It's stronger within. You know, it's like, that's not enough. And you want to see that person suffer, you know, where you feel like a huge injustice has occurred. And to all intents and purposes, based on current mindsets and awareness, you might think current climate, it's justified. But if you look at the end goal, when we seek to balance spiritually, then it's the path of forgiveness and the path of repentance. That's the way to find balance. But with compassion and understanding, we can pause and see how they have sunk within the depths of a base energy born of the beast, victims themselves of the same. Earlier, you could imagine. This is the notion of cycle, repetition. And you have to stand outside this and stop it and change, and then you grow. This breaks the cycle. So we gain an understanding that projected awareness from outside impresses upon us when we are young and impressionable. The opportunity for any individual for growth through change or not is a choice. So just think, the colour of my descriptions are irrelevant because truth is truth. So my words, even if it seems, I try and keep this honed and very focused. And if you don't find it so, let me know. People are beginning to ask questions, which is prompting stuff. And I'm going to set up a donations thing so that I can focus more time on this. Because it takes me away from other things. And that's just the reflection on the paradigm we live in. which, if you look at my writings, you'll see that it's a big focus of mine to change, and through explanation and a theoretical demonstration, I'll show you the workings of it in number 7 tomorrow. And I'll go through business things like, you know, is Facebook a problem? What we can reduce its impact to almost insignificance, extremely simply. If you want to, I'll show you how. No worries. So that's tomorrow. But today, let's get on to this. When I did the cards, I did this. I put the cards out in this pattern. And I had this notion. I was just going to draw that in a circle, but I'll just leave it. So here we go. Here we can see two-dimensional representation of us. And again, it's like the cards, isn't it? What's above, what's below, what's behind and in front. That's what we were talking about. In the sense of the cards, we could do, here is your birth date. This is your birth date. So you reduce them down. It's like, as I said, mine was 27. I had them together again and I get 9. So it's the 9th card after my shuffle, thinking about me, yeah? And I appreciate that might look like masturbation from today and the other one. It's just, yeah, amusing. I laugh. Here we have date of birth, today's date. The sum of the two represents that accumulation to date. And then the sum of the 3, that shows the catalyst. And the sum of the 4 shows that potential balance to focus on. That might be reversed, yeah? Just a thought. But when I've got this like this, this conveniently reflects the new numerologically based tarot spread. Oh, is that it? Is that what I've done there? Okay. Let's expand this. How does this show anything to do with you, 666 and the beast? Well, let's just change this a little bit. Let's bring it down to things that you recognise, okay? Things that you know and you can relate to. In the movie, the one where the guy Professor Richard, what's his pants, was over in France and following the royal bloodline, the Saint Real, yeah. So, and when he went to see his mate showed this, didn't he? Do you remember that? Yes. Okay. Look, I want to take this beyond the male and female to show a more, I feel, grander notion in the sense of what it represents to us as individuals, and has a greater relationship to creation / universe and God, the notion of the big G. So, big G and us, yeah? So, here we go. When I did the God, Universe and Us video, and there's a link in the text on this PDF, but if you go to roydale.com, it's in the recents, it's a 56-minute thing. It's God, the universe, us, creation, all that stuff. And what I say is this: I talk about a triangle, yeah, and a triangle, yeah. So we've got 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, which is 180 degrees. And if we go like that, then we've got 360 degrees from a two-dimensional perspective when we look at the sum of all. If we throw that into a three-dimensional, then we get what I was referring to as the hexahedron, steady there on the left, the the hexahedron, the six-sided, based on the tetrahedron. Yep. Whoops, that's a bit out. Whoops. Bugger. I'll start again, sorry. There we go, it's up there, look. Let's just draw that. So we've got that, then we've got that, and then we've got that coming down there, and that coming down there, and that coming to there. Does that work? Yes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is this, isn't it? So here we have, this is what we've got. I did this a while ago. And which is obviously made up of 2 of these. And here we see the 1, 2, 3, 4 faces of God. Okay. Now if we put them together, then we have, excuse me, we have the 4 faces of God. 4 faces of man, is it? Sort of, joined? I don't know. Let's just think about it. What we've got is, if that doesn't seem elongated enough. I think it wants to be more like that, more like that, more like that, more like that, and then we'll just whack that into there and over to there, to there. That's gone wrong already, isn't it? Yeah? But you can see what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get a triangle in there. Yeah. Anyway, so podcasters, you must be wondering what the hell is going on. Anyway, so what we've got, if we look at it from a sense of 360, 360, 360, 360, 360, there's actually 7 faces there, isn't there? 7 faces, yeah? And where we've got the 3 underneath, yeah? You have to bear with me on this. I'm doing this on the fly, a lot of this. Where we've got the 3 underneath, so we've got 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3, and then we've got the other 3 up there. 1, 2, and 3, and then obviously we've got this one here. Yeah, and we're having these 3 here. We could say we've got red and orange and yellow. Yeah. And then here we could say we've got green, yeah, because we actually see then into, we see both aspects then, don't we, in the next density? Yeah, is this making sense now? So here we've got the veil of confusion. Okay, that's at this level here, below. And when this finishes, that's where we are. And we can see from each one of these, we obtain the full 3-dimensional aspect of each creation. As a thing to show, when we look, what we've got podcasters, we've got tetrahedron and tetrahedrons. I'm just going to change a little bit for a symbolic sense. That's my symbolic idea. And when we think, just be mindful of that idea of a square based pyramid. You know, when Pythagoras was looking at the Platonic solids, and that sits on the cube, of course. And so, you know, there he mentioned, didn't he, that another one of that's the hexagon. Sorry, the hexagon, the cube. Yeah, 6 sides. That obviously we can see the pyramid sits on top of the cube. But if you think, and just remember this picture, in fact I might draw it over there in a minute. If you think of this picture, what we have is the cube in which you could make a sphere, like the earth. Yeah? And then on the earth, you could build a pyramid on that illusion as part of touching the same, not separate. Yeah. And if we think of it in this way, then that actually again gives more of an inclination in the sense of journey, purpose, and very, very ancient Egyptian notions, going back to whoever it was that taught Moses, someone Fluffy labels. Right, what's the matter with Bob, Ted, Karen and Alice? Anyway, look at it this way. If we say that we do have then there. Okay. Slightly different now. We've still got the here. Well, that's only in the one, isn't it? So, and we've moved it all. So that doesn't really apply. So what's this showing? Well, when we think of the universe and we think of matter, let's think of matter. If we think of our journey in once we've balanced all our energies, our energy centers, and we can journey. Obviously, the balancing, the when we balance our lives, our experience, then we can find that through the silence we can hear and we can see. Yeah. Just be aware that, you know, the wave is just the wave. It's that idea of, you know, the word, and the word is a vibration. Yeah. So as we focus in on our own silence, we're going in and in and in. So we're always going within, because expressed without is the illusion. So if all that we're aware of is represented here as a focal point in this illusion, yeah, and we begin to journey to an infinitesimally small point as everything is drawn back in through which it came, in the same way that the Earth and all the other planets are held in position at their central point through the tensions and relationships omnidirectionally of that notion of positive and negative. And when we meditate, and what we do is we journey back to the first awareness that we ever had. Now that so just consider life, lives, experience, accumulate, get more and more and more. That's awareness. And at each one, in each life, at the moment of birth, we try and get back and hold on to what we learned before, that awareness, we add to it. Yeah? And here we have this growth of intelligence, and we can reason and become aware of, to the point where we can create and see within, and that enhances our understanding and what we can relate to with regards to desire to assimilate within self. So the more that we think about something, and the more that we see it, and the more that we think and understand, oh yeah, that was that and that was that, then we can increase that potential probability of getting to where we want to get to. Yeah, and look at all those things where we've got that notion of will, yeah, coming from seeds as we're balancing the energies, and as we balance and recapture, that silence, and we can bring it in, and then we're increasing, and we bring it down, and we pull in, and we balance, and and we're going all the way up and up and up until we get to here, this point, when we can pierce through here, and what we see is that void. Yeah, think of just brace yourselves, but again, listen, think of the dimethyltryptamine experience that synthesizes the same chemical that the milk and honey combined produces, minus a molecule, I believe. Yeah, I'm not a scientist, I'm just awareness. So if that produces that, and we see that void, but there is no change, to me that's suggesting that it's forcing that experience without that balance and understanding. If we go this road naturally, looking at the cycles, yeah, those days when it's naturally released up the river of joy and kingdom of heaven, yeah, and the Christ oil comes in, poof, there you go, and you journey, and being balanced, you receive that awareness in the void. And that awareness in the void of nothing is that notion of your first awareness. And that's right at the back, the beginning of all those, your first awareness. And so that effectively takes you back to your point of creation from a perspective of created in the image of God. So you see, it's the difference between knowing and seeing this now as an intellectualized concept and saying, yes, I can see, and the difference is being. Yesterday I said aware, and then today aware of self. I forgot about that until that second, but there you go. That's the way it works. Unreal. So, always throws me a little bit. So we can see, once we grasp this notion of that void, of that nothing, when the universe as a created space was not full of any projected matter at a different energy. Yeah, and it's that tension in matter that keeps everything the way it is. That's why there's this draw to unite the two energies. That's why the male and the female are drawn together in that, the sexual union. Unfortunately, as I said before, this grounds you here in awareness because it's a beast-orientated experience. It's not a higher self experience. Yahabu sucks. Anyway, so I hope you can see that idea. Once God has a notion of self, That's the spiritualization process. That is the resurrection. Okay? And it will be complete when the balancing of all the energies are finished and you're progressing through monthly. Yeah, you're doing this monthly cycle of the moon when it gets into your solar house and this seed's released. Yeah, and then you finish off, you're looking at look at every component in there. Write it out on a piece of paper. Write them whether they're plus or minus. Think about where you are in relation to the plus and the minus, because each one of those is going to affect the way that you receive the information and work with the information with regards to the experience of the polarity. Yeah, so it's like you go into a situation or somewhere or something that you don't like. Find out why. Pause, stop, think. What is it about it? Yeah, is it linked to a memory? Is it something else you've got to deal with? Is that the catalyst for something else? Clearing out, balancing. Woof, going back, up through, seeing. That notion of God becomes aware of self. You become aware of I am. And then in that sense, then you can see within the illusion, the I in everyone. You can see it wherever they're playing, whatever they're doing. It's you understand it as an expression of the big G, by virtue of your understanding and ultimate experience, yeah, which is honed through sight, image. Yeah, this is the way we see it. Think in the same way. It's the energy, that awareness, like the sun, the earth. It comes and sprouts out from the middle, which is why we see this. You know, going round this, is it toroidal? Same as us. Yeah, the seven faces, looking at the tetrahedrons. And there at that point in the split where we've got one on top and we've got one on bottom, yeah, and there we've got the confusion. Sorry. So, anyway, that's how you can see how it all works. So that's the focus. That's how we do more. That's literally how it works. And when we think of this, and we think of that notion of serving to self and subjugation especially, you know, this is where you have to realise that, no, this is for me. You know, I'm going to understand what the Bible, what the books of the Bible are for. They're a map to remind us how to get home, and then how to join up, as it were. This is the single union that we seek in our hearts, is this one, not a shag behind the bike shed, in the back of a car, excuse me. Yeah? Okay. Now just consider for a moment. One person does this, what do they radiate in this place? Yeah? It's love, isn't it? You radiate your own divinity. And you would then influence all around you with divine love. That's incredible, isn't it? So if that potential is based with all those that are aware of that notion of Christ, like Christians, if you see the truth of what your birthright is, what your job is, what your responsibility to self is, and if you just think about apply your intellect to logically work through it, you can see that process, and then you can picture yourself diving through space to get to you, to get back to that original instant in awareness of you, the first expression of other self by the big G. Yeah? I've said this right at the beginning, books and books ago, it's like that. We are all expressions of the big G. And that's what we're looking for, that first, and then it's, oh, okay, we're God. Because we're expressions of God. Does that make sense? It's not that notion of I am a God. That's the ego of the little beast, the little human being talking. But we need to, this being, this seed, we need to grow and germinate. Now's the time. I hope that all makes sense. Put questions, send questions, you know, put it down on LinkedIn. I'll put a lot of this stuff up there. I just share what I share. There are lots of people sharing lots of things. A lot of it is wonderful. Try and work out what resonates with you and what doesn't. I'm having a leaning at the moment towards this, just to do a thing. The idea of, you know, cards and date of birth, different spreads, there's power in this. Date of birth, today's date, yeah, the sun, and the combined total, we'll say, as, right, this is the seed. Let's call this the seed, and this is the man. This is the bean. The seed is the spiritual seed. There's the bean on earth, and then we've got the two combined, and then we've got all three as the catalyst. What have all that together brought? And then from all those, above, below, the sum of all parts to date produces the catalyst for you to be aware of, and then all of those give you the solution when you add all those together. Work to single digits, addition, addition, addition. Now, what I wanted to say was this: if you read tarot for other people as a possible different spread, you might try this. This is something that I was thinking of doing for people. Here, instead of putting your date of birth, I did mention this a couple of days ago, I think, or a week ago, or something. Instead of putting the date of birth there, you put the solar house. Yeah, so if it was Aries, it's number 1, isn't it? And then you put today's date, the sum. Combined total for catalyst and grand total for balance. Yeah. So I might start doing that for people on a separate little separate playlist, and do them. I'll probably do them weekly because of the cycles, but I'd like to do, and this is something that other readers could do. If it's your birthday today, then I could do a spread, and if it's your birthday, today's date. If your birthday is today, boof, there you go, there's a spread for that day. And it's, again, just with regards to tarot readings, it's, are you ever aware of, and I know this is dragging out 48 minutes now, but this is important stuff to consider, I believe. Cycles, yeah. All right, hello, there's 50 bucks, give us a tarot reading, 100 bucks, 250 bucks, whatever it is, right? And it's like, bash, there's a tarot reading, and 6 months later you go back. There's me money, you know, 50, 250 bucks, whatever it is. It's like, bash, there's another tarot reading. And what you do is effectively 6 months down the line, you're still talking about the same desires for your love life. You're still talking about the same hopes and dreams for your wealth. Yeah? And you still got your same wishes for your health. So if everything's the same, you need to look at what you're doing and make a correction. And I believe that this is how you could do it. When doing the spread, be aware specifically of the pluses and the minus of every card laid down, and then think about that. You know, that's for each card. Okay, and then think about all of that in relation to you. You know, what are you? Because you've got an energy bias, haven't you? Yeah, and even that is affected by Mother Earth. Yeah, so, is that right? I've got an issue with that at the moment. Anyway, so there we go, that's all that. And I think that would be helpful, because then you've got this idea of focusing on something that's annoying you, that's peeing you off. What is it at the moment? Someone, something, yeah? Catalyst, sorry, that's the catalyst, yeah? And the power to change that element to help you achieve balance, that could be words from someone, yeah? It could be an example from someone. It could be something that happened, something that happens and changes a situation, or offers the possibility of change probability. And that's, again, based on a yes or a no decision, which is positive or negative. Every time it's the same. Every moment in your awareness, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Yeah? Understand, keep the balance. Hello, fly. So, I've got to go. I haven't got to go, I'm going to go. I hope that's been good. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it resonates with you. Please, please, please like and subscribe. I'm not used to all this rubbish. Please share. Let's understand, the more people that talk about this, the more people that go through this, the more people that pull this information down, bring it into their awareness, start thinking about this, putting it out there, you know, it's going to change everything. Let's begin the process. This is all part of opening to truth. By changing your personal truth to an expanded awareness of shared universal truth. And if you don't agree with it, then fine. But if you do, then, you know, focus, seek. Always answered, always answered. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, I'm going to go. So, in the love and the light of the one infinite creator, I don't know. Brilliant. Good, that was good.